going to talk about the difference between the scientific method and the engineering design process. So this little lecture is going to be based around incorporating the engineering design process into a high school math or physics classroom. We're going to first go over both methods, and then similarities and some differences and uses for both the methods before we get into the implementation of the engineering design process into your high school math classroom. So let's get started. First, we'll go over the engineering design process. First, you're going to define your problem. You want to know what you have that you need to fix or alleviate. So then you'll move on and do some background research. You'll just look into your problem, look into the people that it affects, who you're selling this to, and what has been tried before. And you're going to specify your requirements, exactly what it is that you are going to do with your product or whatever you're designing. Then you'll brainstorm by throwing out ideas. Any idea that you come up with, you'll just throw it out, write it down. Maybe it'll be useful, maybe you'll use it, maybe it'll impact your design in some way. Then you'll just choose the best solution. Which idea or ideas in your brainstorming session work the best? What do you want to focus on? And from there you will do some development work, just work with it, do your research and stuff like that. And then you'll build a prototype, which you're going to test. In your last step, when you'll test that prototype and possibly redesign it to make sure it works the best for you. So then moving on over to the scientific method. First, you'll ask a question, which asking a question is very similar to defining the problem in the engineering design process. And then you'll do background research, which background research is the exact step that it was in the engineering design process. And from there, construct a hypothesis, also similar. Then you'll test your hypothesis. And so from there, you're going to analyze your data and come up with a conclusion. And then finally, communicate your results in a report, a poster, a presentation, in any of those ways. Now we're going to talk about one way that you can implement the engineering design process into your math or physics classroom. Because as we've all seen, there's this big push to put engineering into existing courses like this. And everyone's familiar with the scientific method, which we've learned in elementary school and been stressed again in high school. So this process is usually not incorporated until college. So we want to get it in earlier, get students familiar with it before they get into college. So one example is, let's say your school wants to build a new flagpole. Your site for your pole is a certain distance from the road, and obviously you want them to see the flag from the road. So how high you want to make it? How much cement does it take to hold that? How tall that cement be? How wide will that cement block be? So now that has a lot of variables in it, and it's difficult to just look at that and solve it. You'll need to look at a number of questions before you can just attack this problem. So first, what material are you going to use for the pole? Steel, aluminum, iron. How much does your material cost per foot to build that pole? How much does each material weigh? How much cement does it take to hold that weight? And how far from the road can it be seen? So looking at all those questions, you could then go through the engineering design process. You go down each step of the engineering design process and look at this problem. Like, for example, define the problem. Obviously, building this flagpole. Then you'll do some background research onto all of the answers to these questions and specify the requirements. What are you exactly going to do? What material do you want? How tall do you want it? And then you'll brainstorm, choose the best solution. Then you'll do some development work, the actual designing of this. Now, the prototype and testing and redesign might not be as applicable in your classroom depending on how big you want this project to be. You could have them build a small replica. That's how you could use the engineering design process in your math or physics classroom. Thank you for watching.